Archaeologists in Israel have exposed what is believed to be the long-lost tomb of King Solomon, hidden for over 3,000 years. Among the ancient artifacts and texts, there are hints of something far more ominous, a possible ancient warning, perhaps even a prophecy of looming catastrophe. Could the secrets within Solomon's tomb be foretelling a disaster that we're only just beginning to understand? Don't miss this opportunity to uncover the chilling possibilities locked within these ancient walls before it's too late. For many years, people thought the tomb was just a myth since no proof of its existence had ever been found. But that all changed when a team, led by the respected archaeologist Dr. Eilat Mazar, discovered what might be King Solomon's final resting place in the city of David. This wasn't the first time Dr. Mazar made a significant discovery. Back in 1986, she uncovered an ancient gatehouse near the same area. However, she kept this finding quiet until she could be sure of its importance. In 2009, Dr. Mazar returned to the site and started digging near the old gatehouse. She uncovered a vast collection of artifacts from Solomon's time. This treasure trove of ancient objects acted like a portal to the past, leading her to rethink the gatehouse as a structure from the 10th century BC, right around the time of Solomon's rule. Among the remarkable finds at the site were over 30 bulli, small clay seals once used to secure documents. These seals could offer valuable clues about the people and politics of King Solomon's time. One particular seal created a great deal of excitement among the archaeologists, showing just how much historical and cultural information these discoveries might reveal. Join us as we uncover the mystery of King Solomon's tomb, which was finally opened after 3,000 years. A team of scientists and archaeologists, led by Eilat Mazar from the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, discovered the tomb's location in the city of David. Before this, in 1986, Dr. Mazar made a significant archaeological discovery, initially dating it to the 9th century BCE. This discovery was a monumental gatehouse located about 150 meters north of the city of David in the Ophel area. At the time, Mazar did not have enough evidence to attribute the gatehouse to King Solomon and refrained from making such claims. In 2009, Mazar resumed her excavations at the Ophel site. With more findings and a better understanding of the structure, she re-examined the dating of the gatehouse. Based on new evidence, she concluded that the gatehouse likely dated to the 10th century BCE, during King Solomon's reign. Dr. Mazar was a brilliant scientist who placed great importance on the scientific method. Her favorite motto was, "We must let the stones speak." The late Herschel Shanks emphasized her qualifications in a 2007 Biblical Archaeology Review article, stating that no one questioned her professional competence as an archaeologist. Mazar's approach to archaeology incorporated the Bible, a practice uncommon among most scientists today. Her expertise was a major contributor to this significant discovery. Interestingly, Mazar and her team were not specifically searching for Solomon's tomb but instead aiming to find King David's palace. While excavating the oldest part of Jerusalem, they uncovered a large wall segment approximately 210 feet long, known in Arabic as the Cave of the Kings. This segment included a gatehouse, a corner tower, and a royal structure. The cave's intrigue deepens with its connection to the Freemasons, who consider it a place of special importance. Some believe it might have been the site of Templar meetings or that it holds hidden symbols of their secrets, though there's little evidence to support this. Misunderstandings about where ancient kings were buried have lasted for years, with Mount Zion once mistakenly thought to be a royal cemetery. It took many years of careful research and archaeological digs to correct these errors and piece together the true history of places like the city of David. When people hear stories about King Solomon's tomb, they often wonder if its hidden location was deliberate to keep it safe from thieves. In ancient times, it was common to hide the burial sites of kings. Some even suggest that King Solomon might be buried outside the historical city of David, possibly due to the political or religious conflicts of that time. Let's consider the Tomb of the Kings in Jerusalem, which is now open to visitors. For a long time, many believed it was the resting place of King David and King Solomon. Although this theory was later disproven, the name stuck. The tomb, built around the year 100, gained attention in 1863 when a French explorer named Louis Félicien de Saulcy explored it, hoping to find evidence of the king's remains. His efforts are seen by some as the beginning of modern archaeology in Jerusalem. Among the artifacts he found were ancient coffins, including one with inscriptions that is now displayed in a famous museum in Paris. Picture stepping into an ancient, dimly lit room where King Solomon's remains have rested undisturbed for thousands of years. Dr. Jonathan Hayes, a well-known archaeologist, carefully studies the site, his breath visible in the cold air. When they opened what was believed to be Solomon's tomb, they found a crown adorned with sparkling sapphires, showcasing his wisdom and strength. Hayes also discovered Solomon's ornate staff, surrounded by scrolls that were thought to be lost. These scrolls contained records of alliances and conquests that shaped the ancient world. One scroll, in particular, was well preserved and detailed Solomon's thoughts on justice and governance, written in a beautiful and complex script. As Hayes took in the significance of the items around him, each piece from the gilded ornaments to the ancient coins, the weight of history filled the room. Solomon, revered for his unmatched wisdom, famously declared that, "To do what is right and just is more acceptable to the Lord than sacrifice," Proverbs 21 verse 3. This simple yet powerful assertion captures Solomon's deep understanding that true justice transcends mere ritual, it is about integrity and righteousness in one's daily actions. Moreover, Solomon's wisdom also shines through in his reflections on the nature of justice and power. In the famous Judgment of Solomon, where he proposed dividing a living child between two women claiming to be the mother, Solomon demonstrated that true justice is rooted in discernment and compassion, not in blind adherence to the law. His ruling revealed the true mother and exposed the deceptive one, embodying the principle that justice must serve the truth, not just the letter of the law. Significant discoveries in the city of David include the Solomon Tunnel, built to bring water into the city, and Roman period remains such as the Pool of Siloam and the Stepped Street. Despite these breakthroughs, earlier archaeologists struggled to locate royal tombs belonging to Solomon or his successors. This could be due to the vastness of the city of David, the concealment of tombs underground, or the destruction caused by Jerusalem's tumultuous history. Before the tombs were located, theories abounded about their possible locations, with some speculating they were beneath the Temple Mount, a site of immense religious significance. The Temple Mount has been a coveted territory throughout history, controlled by various peoples and empires. However, the discovery of Solomon's tomb in the city of David has offered new insights into the ancient history of Jerusalem and the rulers who shaped it. But there are even more theories. Some historic texts hint at hidden chambers and secret passages beneath the Temple Mount, suggesting rooms or tunnels where significant items, possibly including the tombs of kings, were hidden. However, without the ability to explore these areas, it is difficult to confirm these stories. Limited archaeological investigations around the Temple Mount have not uncovered definitive evidence of Solomon's tomb. These investigations are often conducted carefully to avoid altering the site. While many interesting artifacts and structures have been found, the mystery of Solomon's tomb remains unsolved. If Solomon's tomb is indeed at the Temple Mount, as some theorists speculate, it would be a significant discovery not only for archaeologists but also for everyone interested in history and religion. However, this isn't the only theory that has existed about the location of Solomon's tomb. One significant location is Zedekiah's Cave, also known as Solomon's Quarries, a 5-acre underground limestone quarry under the Muslim quarter of the Old City of Jerusalem. Spanning 5 city blocks and carved over thousands of years, it is believed to have provided the stone for King Solomon's first temple and is the largest quarry in Jerusalem. The strong, erosion-resistant Melik limestone was well suited for royal buildings. The cave has a rich history, with legends of King Zedekiah hiding there from Babylonian soldiers and associations with the Freemasons, although these are mostly speculative. The cave is now open to the public with guided tours, although some areas remain closed for safety or ongoing excavation. Another speculated site is Zedekiah's Cave, which has historical links to King Solomon, and local lore suggests it might contain hidden passages leading to his tomb. The cave's labyrinthine passages and mysterious air make it a compelling candidate for housing the long-lost burial site. Besides Zedekiah's Cave, archaeologists have considered Hezekiah's Tunnel, part of Jerusalem's ancient water system, as another potential hiding place for Solomon's tomb. This tunnel, dug during King Hezekiah's reign to prepare for an Assyrian attack, connects the Gihon Spring with the Pool of Siloam. It passes under the city, exposing sections of the western wall and featuring historical sites like Warren's Gate. Other proposed locations for Solomon's tomb include Mount Zion, traditionally associated with the city of David. However, this theory is based on a misconception. King David's actual burial site is in the southeastern area of Jerusalem's Old City, known as the City of David. French archaeologist Raymond Weil's early 20th century excavations in this area uncovered structures he believed to be royal tombs. While Mount Zion is traditionally associated with King David's burial, it is now believed that David was buried in the City of David, south of the Temple Mount. Consequently, the notion of Solomon's tomb being on Mount Zion is widely regarded as inaccurate. Archaeologists and scientists aren't the only ones who have proposed theories about the location of Solomon's tomb. Some scholars have suggested Mount Zion, a hill in Jerusalem traditionally associated with the City of David, as a potential site for the royal tombs of the Davidic dynasty, including Solomon. However, this theory is based on a misconception. The widely held belief that King David is buried on Mount Zion is inaccurate. In reality, King David was buried in the southeastern area of Jerusalem's real Old City, south of the Temple Mount, in an area known today as Ir David, the City of David. According to 1 Kings 2 verse 10, the Bible states that King David died and was buried in the City of David. It further states that David ruled over Israel for 40 years, ruling over Hebron for 7 years and Jerusalem for 33 years. After that, Solomon ascended to his father David's throne and established his rule. Despite this, Zion appears in the Tanakh as a reference to ancient Jerusalem. During the Middle Ages, Byzantine pilgrims mistakenly identified the hill south of today's Old City's Armenian Quarter as part of ancient Jerusalem and named it Mount Zion. The city captured by David was actually on a lower hill to the south of the Temple Mount. This lower hill was the site of the Jebusite city, which became King David's capital and constituted the whole of Jerusalem for over 200 years until it gradually expanded westward to include the area known today as Mount Zion. The erroneous notion that King David is buried on Mount Zion persisted for centuries. During the 2nd century CE, Jerusalem was razed, Jews were banished, and the knowledge of King David's tomb's actual location was lost. The first clue to the royal burial site's location comes from the Bible, which states that King David, his son King Solomon, and the kings of Judah who followed for the next 150 years were buried in Ir David. This likely refers to a subsection of the modern-day area known as the City of David. In 1913, French archaeologist Raymond Weil excavated what he believed to be tombs in Jerusalem's City of David, possibly the royal necropolis of the earliest Old Testament kings. Some scholars have since disputed this claim, but archaeologist Jeff Zorn's examination of the evidence suggests Weil might have been correct. While King David's tomb has been mistakenly identified with a location on Jerusalem's Mount Zion since the time of the Jewish historian Josephus in the 1st century CE, earlier biblical references indicate that David and many other Old Testament kings were buried near the southern end of the City of David in ancient Jerusalem. But where exactly? Jeff Zorn believes we may already have the answer. Archaeologist Jeff Zorn believes these two quarried-out tunnels in the City of David may have once held the remains of the earliest Old Testament kings of ancient Jerusalem. 19th-century diplomat and explorer Charles Claremont Ganneau thought the winding path of Hezekiah's tunnel provided a significant clue. Claremont Ganneau proposed that the tunnel's semicircular path towards its southern end was dug to avoid disturbing the burial grounds of the ancient Jerusalem kings that lay above. While directed excavations on Baron Rothschild's City of David property in 1913 to 1914 and again in 1923 to 1924. Although the area was significantly disturbed by later quarrying, while discovered ancient walls, ritual pools, cisterns, a circular tower now thought to be a columbarium, and most remarkably, 9 rock-cut features that he identified as tombs. While interpreted the 3 most prominent tombs, labeled T1, T3, as part of the royal necropolis of the Old Testament kings of ancient Jerusalem. After hearing these many theories, some believe Solomon's tomb was intentionally hidden to protect it from looters and invaders, a common practice for royal burials in ancient times. There are theories that Solomon's tomb could be in a less obvious location, possibly outside the traditional City of David area, due to political or religious reasons during later periods of turmoil. For instance, the Seal of Solomon, also known as the Ring of Solomon, is a legendary signet ring attributed to King Solomon in medieval mystical traditions. It is often depicted as a pentagram or hexagram and is said to have given Solomon the power to command supernatural entities and speak with animals. The earliest references to Solomon's seal come from Jewish traditions, first mentioned by the 1st-century Jewish historian Josephus. It is also referenced in the 3rd-century Jewish magical text Sefer Harazim and an Aggadic section of the tractate Gittin within the Babylonian Talmud. However, the Tomb of the Kings in Jerusalem is finally open to the public. Medieval Europeans believed the site contained the burials of King David and King Solomon, and although this theory has been disproved, the name remains associated with the site. Originally constructed in the 1st century CE, the tombs were reused for many years afterwards. The site was first excavated in 1863 by French archaeologist Louis Félicien de Saulcy, who aimed to confirm that the tombs belonged to David and Solomon. This excavation, considered by some to be the first modern archaeological dig in Jerusalem, unearthed several coffins. One of these coffins, now in the Louvre Museum in Paris, was inscribed with 2 lines of Aramaic reading, Sadin the Queen and Sada the Queen. But is there more evidence than these theories and speculations? Let us find out. Apart from theories and speculations, some artifacts found in the City of David suggest the location of Solomon's tomb. Items such as bully and seals bearing names from the biblical period have been found in the City of David, dating back to the time Solomon was alive, providing clues to the probable location of his tomb. A bulla is an inscribed clay or soft metal token used in commercial and legal documentation for authentication and tamper-proofing. From 800 to 7500 BCE, Sumerian agriculturalists used small clay tokens to record their animals and goods. Over time, marking tokens on clay tablets became more practical, leading to the development of cuneiform writing around 3100 BCE. The earliest known tokens come from the Zagros region of Iran, with the term bulla later applied to seals made of metal. Although most bulli were made of lead, some were crafted from gold, as seen in those issued by Byzantine emperors, Holy Roman emperors, and various monarchs in the Middle Ages. 6 official clay seals found by an archaeological team at a small site in Israel provide evidence supporting the existence of biblical kings David and Solomon. Many modern scholars have dismissed David and Solomon as mythological figures, believing no kingdom could have existed in the region at the time the Bible describes their activities. However, these new finds indicate that some form of government activity occurred in that period, highlighting the administrative importance of the area during Solomon's time. The discovery of King Solomon's tomb, if ever confirmed, would be a monumental achievement in archaeology and biblical history. Some people believe that technologies like ground-penetrating radar and other non-invasive methods might help explore hidden chambers without disturbing the site. The search continues, driven by a blend of historical intrigue, religious significance, and the timeless allure of uncovering the secrets of the past. What are your thoughts on Dr. Mazza's discovery? Do you believe the tomb of King Solomon has been found? Share your thoughts and join the conversation. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating discoveries.